Hello, somebody. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Trenches, live here at the Loyola studio right here in the Communications Complex. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. Joining me right now, I got my main man, CL Nola, also known as the GM. If you need to make the right pick, he's the man you need to holler at. Want to take this time to shout out our sponsors, Small Sliders, Piccolo and Ramos Realty. Also want to thank Montero Motors, baby. 1512 North Causeway, y'all know where they at. Robert Wolf Construction and Real Estate. Also Elliott Security and Security Solutions, along with Lamarck Ford Crescent City. So I'll tell y'all a little bit about those sponsors. Man, it is definitely free agency frenzy. I want to jump right into it. We will have David Grubb join us a little later to talk Pelicans, right? And also we'll have a couple of these big dog football players from Destrehan come by. We'll talk about that in a minute because we got to talk lineman clinic. But CL, the big news that woke us up this morning is the New Orleans Saints signing Godchaux, Davon Godchaux, that's right, from Plaquemine, Louisiana through and through, now New Orleans Saints.
Here we go again. Another part of the initiative of bringing. I'm gonna start the trend with it. They've started the trend physically. I'll start the trend verbally. We'll say here they go with the trend, bringing home.
Yeah.
Keeping Louisiana inside of the state. So we have another homeboy coming back to play for the New Orleans Saints. That nose tackle that we're gonna need for the 3-4 in Brandon Stevens' defense. So that is just a perfect fit.
My first few years with LSU Sports Radio, I had the privilege of covering this young man as a player. He's been in the league, has been phenomenal. Even interviewed him down in Miami back in 2019. Shot him a text earlier, and he's happy to come home. He's looking forward to. He always wanted to work with Coach Bo, two Louisiana guys through and through, also LSU Tigers. But they'll be running a 3-man front. Right. So this now changes the dynamic of the Saints' defense. We've seen the 4-3 defense in the last few Coach Dennis Allen's defenses. Now we're going to see a more hybrid approach, I would say. I played in a couple of 3-4 systems, CL. So right away, your nose guard has to be a dog. Obviously, Godchaux has played the 4-tech, which is for our viewers and our listeners checking us out right now. That's for the head up over the tackle. And he's done well with that in Miami and also in the Patriots, so he's going to definitely fit well in this defense.
In layman's terms, for the people that's listening, he's 330 pounds, and he's going to be a stalwart in the middle.
No. I think he like 295. Oh. So I'll break it down like this, CL. So think about it as normally we used to seeing the Saints go Cam, like a Brizzy, a Saunders, and let's say Granderson, right? Now it's going to be defensive end, nose guard, 4. Godchaux plays that 4 technique in his defense. What's interesting, this is probably what you're going to like, I now see the Saints going, especially with the bulk of their picks, the mid-rounds of their picks and in free agencies, bringing in the linebackers and the edge rushers that match this type of system.
We're definitely going to have to. For years, it's been the 3 linebackers, sometimes 2 because we run the nickel. Now it's the base defense will be 3 down linemen up front, and we'll have 4 linebackers. Some linebackers will fill the gap. Some linebackers will drop back in coverage. Some linebackers will just straight up attack. But it's a different approach to defense and getting pressure on a quarterback, and that I believe in podcasts in the past, we argued and we went back and forth on creating different kind of pressure in the Saints defense. And to be honest with you, we have been giving up a lot of running yards lately too. And I think the new approach to defense and Coach Brandon's defense is the direction to go in.
No doubt. If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, baby, we're live right here at Loyola down in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. Feel free, if y'all are live on the YouTube for 104.5 FM Baton Rouge, feel free to chime on into the conversation. We're talking free agency. Do you like the move of bringing in Louisiana's own Davon Godchaux, who played at LSU, played in this type of system that the Saints are going to switch to, and has had a phenomenal career in the league. It's hard to bounce around this league like this, CL. So to see him do that, and also too, I want to mention this. It's about 7 o'clock right here, Central Time. You know, it's just getting dark not too long ago, and some of y'all might be on y'all way home. My West Bank viewers, and y'all don't feel like cooking. Let's just go ahead and cut to it. Y'all can make y'all way over to 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Amarillo. Holler at my folks over there at Small Sliders. Let them know Big Face said, man, I can eat over here. Also, you can get their party packs. Call 504-372-6644. Small Sliders, baby. Amarillo. See, that wasn't the only thing that happened with the Saints today. Parsons Adebo has now found a new home. That's right.
Yeah, it was expected. We spoke on that previously before. You know, if I was his agent, I wouldn't accept a phone call from the New Orleans Saints talking about a prove-it deal. I wouldn't accept a phone call from anybody knowing that somebody had not only saw his tapes of him being back from that broken femur, just knowing that he was athletically ready to go and somebody that needed a corner that was up and down lately for us, but still a solid guy. And he got a 3-year deal from the Giants. And, you know, we're happy for Parson because he definitely started off as a Saint, but we knew he, in his play, outpriced himself in New Orleans.
That he did build himself up to that amount of a value. Because, we brought him in the second round? Third round, cornerback.
Stanford.
Right out of Stanford, smart cornerback, lockdown corner, when healthy.
Yeah.
He's somebody, and we talked about this a lot on the show. I thought he was going to end up in Tennessee, actually. I thought he was going to end up with the Titans, but we knew he was going to be a guy that was going to leave this organization and make some money. Yeah. Going to the Giants, who knows how the Giants are going to look next year, but at least he gets to this is not the first time we sent somebody to New York.
Well,
so big ups to Parson.
Well, it happens for us in New Orleans more times than likely. You know, we have guys that, you know, has came up in our system, if you will, and then went on to bigger things because at the end of the day, the market dictates their price tag, not the New Orleans Saints, not Mickey Loomis, not Chris Lombard. The market dictates their price. And Adebo got his money's worth in New York because why? New York had money to spend, and the New Orleans Saints don't.
They have it's a market that has the bread to roll with it, right. But you also have to look at the system as well. New York is going to need a lot of man lockdown corners just based on the nature of how their defense operates. Let's go around the league a little bit, CL, before we and we're talking Saints free agency. I'm excited about the pick. Y'all let us know if y'all like the acquisition of Davon Godchaux. You know, you bring a Louisiana guy home through and through. He's back to the crib. Big news, Seattle. A couple, let's say 48 hours ago, ended up parting ways with Geno Smith. Yeah. Geno Smith is now back reunited with his old coach with the Raiders. But they went and got Sam Darnold. To me, that is one of the biggest stories so far in free agency. And I'll tell you why, CL. One reason is Sam Darnold was somebody who, when he was with the Jets, it just wasn't working out.
Right.
I mean, at one point we said he was seeing ghosts. We didn't know what the move was going to be for him when he went to Minnesota. All I thought, like, wow, they're bringing him in. They're definitely going to draft a quarterback. That's something that they did do. Yeah. But in addition to that, I was like, hold on. That boy balling. Week 3, 4 roll. I'm like, all right, it's Sam Darnold. He's probably got a little fizz magic going. Then I'm like, he's the real deal. Boy, look at Jets still done. Jets not tripping. You know, and this is all before, you know, after the aftermath of J.J. McCarthy going down. So I guess my question for you, they have to be going after a free agent, right? They have to be going after a free agent quarterback because you have, I'm going to say, an unproven rookie quarterback who comes from a system at Michigan where he was successful, but he was in a hardball system. So it worked out well for him. But now who is going to be his backup, or who's going to be the quarterback that may have to get things started until he's ready to spread his wings? I mean, he's been in the NFL now a year, but he just hadn't had an opportunity to get that playing time.
I've never straddled a fence ever in life, and I think that's why me and Fave have so much spirited conversations. I never thought the young man was worth the first round pick from the beginning. Shouts out to G Sports. He's still in it, baby. I never thought he was worth the first round pick in the beginning. Unfortunately, the young man got hurt in his first year, which did give Darnold a chance to show up. But let's be honest, the Minnesota Vikings team as a whole is a quarterback-friendly place. Remember the games that they played and successful was in when they had Josh Dobbs at quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
So you bring in the Sam Darnold, who is more talented than the Dobbs, throwing the football, obviously. And, he had a great job. He got the number one receiver in football. Never sleep on Aaron Jones in the backfield. You had a great tight end. You have a decent offensive line, an amazing defense. So it was and then obviously we all know Kevin O'Connell is one of the more illustrious
quarterback developers
of quarterbacks in today's NFL. So I thought it was a friendly situation for him. Just moving forward, I think they need to have somebody that can actually a proven quarterback, and I don't think they have it. Everybody kind of whispers Aaron Rodgers situation. But the everybody that I'm talking about is not the people that's on ESPN and 104.5 Baton Rouge.
Hello, somebody.
Shouts out to I-10 in Baton Rouge. We know y'all sitting in that traffic right now.
Yes, indeed. And shouts out to all of y'all checking us out right now, our listening audience. We appreciate y'all for liking and subscribing. Y'all can also go to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube to catch these shorts. The highlight moments, but for this full episode, definitely go to share it with your friends as well. Go to 100.45 FM, YouTube Live, baby. We have much more to talk about. As we mentioned earlier, we will be joined by David Grubb of the Bird Rights. Come and talk a little Pelicans with us. Grubb's probably out there right now, probably wanting to comment on some of this free agency stuff, so we would love to hear from him on some of those deals. And then also we'll be joined by the Collins boys, baby. And also Braylon Montero from Destrehan. They're going to talk this past weekend, we had the camp. In addition to that, we also they have spring ball coming up and stuff like that, so we'll talk a little high school football. But before we wrap this segment, CL, I want to look at a couple of the other moves across the league that I thought were big moves. Going inside the trenches, Khalil Mack, a big one-year deal, $18 million to the Chargers. He's someone, in my opinion, who, for your typical 3-4 defense, when you need that stand-up edge rusher, he's typically a guy that gets the job done.
Well, baby, let's not hold any punches. It could have been a guy that we could have used.
Yeah, real talk.
In the 3-4 that we're starting to do in New Orleans. But shouts out to Khalil Mack to still being relevant in the year 2025, signing that one-year deal. We heard Coach Harbaugh early in the year, early in the offseason, get on some type of podcast and told the owner to pay the man. Yeah. And so they find a way to ink out a deal. Unfortunately, Bosa finds his way out of the Chargers forward. Yeah. Maybe that's a situation we could look forward to if he's looking for a prove-it deal. This is the legal tampering time of the NFL. So I'm at full liberty to say the things that I'm saying, Fred.
No doubt. I mean, you have guys like Jordan Lewis, who's now – he was in Dallas. He's now with the Jaguars, just going through some of the big acquisitions. Kenny Pickens, man, this kid is just bouncing around. He's now with the Browns, go figure. Josh Sweat. He's now with the Cardinals, just signed a nice deal.
Nice deal.
Everybody getting their money, man. I totally get it. I love the fact.
The cap went up, fam.
Yeah, the price went up, baby.
There's more money to spend. There's more free agents ready to be free. The Falcons let Grady Jackson go.
Yeah. I mean, you have some guys that are in better situations. I want to say Drake Kinlaw is now with Denver. How Coach Sean, and you have Coach Vance Joseph out there.
So it's the same combination. For the 49ers for Luga.
For Luga, so that's two guys. So now he joins his teammates. So those are two big time deals. We want to take this time to thank Small Sliders for sponsoring this segment. Remember, if y'all need a party pack, And you know, my Out West Bank viewers that's tuning in with us right now, teachers, a teachers appreciation event, whatever the case may be sure to hit up our folks over there at Small Sliders. Again, that's the location at 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. Get your party pack. Call 504-372-6644. Hey, y'all don't go anywhere. About to relive them hoop dreams, baby. We'll be joined by my man, D Grub. He's going to talk Pelicans with us. He might have slide a couple free agency comments out there. And then he got some new to announce to us, man. He got some big stuff with the Pels. He's going to talk with us.
Okay.
Looking forward to hollering at him. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. Live here at Loyola University. Also on ESPN Baton Rouge, YouTube, baby. Welcome back, baby. It is Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite, and I'm loving our new home over here at Loyola University right here in beautiful New Orleans, and our new viewers right there, y'all right there. My favorite Tigers over there at ESPN Baton Rouge, 104.5 FM, and we are rolling. Shouts out to Piccolo and Ramos Realty, baby. 1943 Sotheby Wright Place, New Orleans, Louisiana. Give my homie Joel a call, 504-826, Check this out. I got a little tongue twisted right there. If y'all looking to refinance your house, sell your house, buy a new house, you may not even be in the market right now for buying. You might just want to rent for right now. Give Piccolo and Ramos Realty a call. Again, that number is 504-826-8426. And let them know you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. Also, now, here's the thing. You do got to have a roof over your head, so that's important. but you also need transportation, and it's important to get feasible transportation. Well, there's no other place to do that better than Montero Motors. That's right. The car dealership is right there off in Metairie, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. Holler at my man Alberto over there. Nice used car, reasonable prices. You got a rack on, you won't walk away with a whip, that might be the day for you, and you ain't got to worry about getting to that job. Hello, somebody. I know somebody that's doing their job, man, and that's our next guest. Around the city, he really needs no introduction. And you start thinking about Tulane basketball games. You start thinking about bird rights, Pelicans. Well, our next guest is none other than my good homie, my friend, one of my brothers in this business, David Grubb. D. Grubb, man, welcome to Inside the Trenches again, brother.
D. Grubb.
Thanks for having us, coming through.
Man, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We go back. West Bank boys,
Yeah.
And, just happy to be here with you, and let's do this thing, man. Let's talk.
Before we make a big announcement, I'm glad you brought up here your West Bank boy. So you were on the Algiers America documentary.
Yes.
Man, talk to our viewers what it's like being a part of that.
And, I get a little emotional just like you just bringing it up because, it was about my alma mater, Edna Carr. And I was part of the first graduating class at Edna Carr back in 1993. So aging myself a little bit. I'm a little old, I'll turn 50 this year.
Young man.
So, yeah. But to talk about that school, which has meant so much to me, my mother was PTO president there for more than a decade. My brother and my sister both graduated from Edna Carr. I helped reopen that school. I was part of the team that helped get that school open after Hurricane Katrina. And then to watch all the things that have transpired over the years, the challenges that the school has faced, and then to watch that program turn into, certainly, look, everybody wants to talk about the on-field success, and it's the most successful public high school program maybe we've ever seen in Louisiana. Nobody has done what that school has done. You talk about the domination over the last 3 years in the Catholic League, maybe the most difficult league in the state. When you talk about high school football, the domination, what they outscored folks by 200+ points this year.
It was crazy this year.
And, you get mercy rule in the state championship game with the running clock. It's easy to focus on that. But when you talk about the work that those coaches have done, and it started, all the way back with Don Watney, through Jabbar Jalouk, through, and now to that entire staff, and it begins with Bryce Brown. But that entire staff of men and the families that support those young men each and every year, the lives that have been saved, quite frankly. And then you look on the field and watch these young men continue to live out their football dreams at various levels, but also go on to be contributing members of this community and other communities around the country. They had to convince me at first to be a part of that documentary because I didn't think I was worthy of it. You know what I mean? I didn't think I should be speaking about it. I didn't think I had done enough. And they kind of were just like, no, we need you to tell the story. We need you to help frame this for people and just to be able to tell about what that has been like, to watch how Algiers has changed, where Algiers used to be this jewel community in New Orleans, this boutique, upper middle class community, and watch now the challenges that financially it's gone through, just like the rest of New Orleans, how families have just been hit harder and harder by living in New Orleans becomes more and more of a challenge, particularly for us as black people in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
We watched others come in and start gentrifying our city and changing the complexion of the city, both color-wise and financially.
True.
And watch the haves and have-nots get further and further apart in this city, to watch what Edna Carr does with students from all over the city of New Orleans, to bring those kids together and under the vessel of football to create a path for kids to save their lives. It's a beautiful thing, and I think it was a story that needed to be told. It's a sad state that a coach has to do that much. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, a coach is not supposed to be doing that much. Right. Coaches are not supposed to be doing that much. But it is amazing. It is amazing what people will do when they have to. And I think that's the story of Edna Carr, is what had to be done is being done. And now on that big, beautiful campus, the new campus that they have on General Meyer Drive, moved away from the small campus on Huntley to have that big, beautiful campus. I think that's what those kids deserved, and that's what those kids need to thrive. When you walk into a building like that, that means people care.
It's top of the line.
You know
it
what
really
I mean?
is.
When you send kids every day to dilapidated schools, when you send them, you give them the worst of the worst. You tell them you don't even deserve to eat. You know what I mean? Like you see this fight going on. You know, not to get too, but you see this fight where kids are having to fight to eat school lunch, and people saying they don't deserve. Maybe they should go work for school lunch, the place that they got to be regardless.
Right.
You know, for 9 hours a day, sometimes 10, 11. If you're going to practice, you're doing all the things you're doing. You up there, kids up. I mean, my daughter, she's up for high school. For her high school, she's a junior high school. She's up in 5:30 every morning to go to school, and that's her day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for these kids to be there, you know, you deserve to be a place that looks like it cares about you. The people care, but the building needs to care. The building needs to give you pride. The facilities need to give you pride, and they have that. But that being a part of that documentary and being able to help tell their story, it's not my story, to help be able to tell their story was an honor and a privilege.
Wow. You know, that is amazing, Grubbs. I mean, obviously I'm a proud graduate of Old Parent Walker, but there's no secret that I went to call first. And to speak on that, you know, obviously I have a history with that as well, and I'm familiar, and I would never want to forget to mention the great Coach Al Ott and the great Coach Foray. In the building of Carr, because a lot of people don't even realize that they started dominating in junior high. It was It was, if you go back and you look at the junior high championships before they were even able to be a senior high school. So, you know, the legacy definitely is great to be told. And we're so happy to have you here, brother. I'm so used to seeing you at the Pelicans game. He's actually right in the section where, where
the GM said, I got you.
Tell us this, brother. Now that you're here, now that you've seen the success for Carr, now that you've seen the success that, you know, the new generation, the Bryces and the T. Howards, even the Edward Dillers. I always want to make sure we mention that.
Right behind me, you know.
For
Taurus
sure.
and I were on the same basketball team, you know. Taurus was, that's my dude, and whenever I see him, I'm just, again, you know how it is. When you see cats in high school, you can't imagine. None of us can look at each other and be like, you're going to be in charge of other young men one day. You know, because you being young and dumb. You know what I'm saying? But all of those men are great fathers. They're great teachers.
Yeah.
And they the biggest thing is you can do amazing things when you give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You can do amazing things when you give a damn about people and put them first. And I think that's what they do.
If y'all are just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, you're hearing my man David Grubb break it down with us for the Pels. He's talking a little bit about us, about the history of Edna Carr. He's a guy was at the first Carr, because I know that back then all y'all went to Walker, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Or Carr was a middle school.
Carr was a junior high.
A junior high, I meant to say.
Yeah,
you had a lot of like Liver Days back in the G. I remember Helen Cox was a junior high. Junior highs were very popular.
Worley
Junior High.
Bell,
Gregory, Colton.
Fantasy.
Yep.
What's the one in West Wego?
Henry
Ford.
Yeah,
Henry Ford. Well, that was Kennedy Heights or what have you. I want to switch gears a little bit here, D. Grubb. The Pels. You know, they've been. I mean, obviously, they're one of the worst teams in the NBA via the record. We've seen we've seen them go on a little streak here and there. We've seen some flashes of greatness from that team. You're there every week in and week out. You write for the Pels. What direction is this team taking it? I mean, obviously, this season's over.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could sit here and talk about their matchup against the Clippers coming up and go. I don't want to say X's and O's. I'm so used to that with football, but with talk, zone defense, basketball, whatever. Pick and rolls, I don't care.
There's X's and O's on the clipboard for us too.
Yeah, that's true too. It's just a shorter court, but
there's just 5 of them. That's
it's just a little different. But I just feel like the direction this city is taking as a whole. The Saints made a big change, bringing in Kellen Moore. So you're going to see. We've already seen the shift in hires. Do you see something like that similar happening to the Pelicans? I'm not saying fire Coach Willie Green, but I'm just talking about maybe in the draft, maybe the team. I mean, I was happy when we got Murray from Atlanta. I'm like, yes, we got a true point guard, but then he gets hurt. Zion, oh man, he's the greatest thing in the world, dunking on his old teammates, and then he gets hurt. We trade B.I., get him out there. He's in Toronto. Probably about to do a mixtape with Drake.
He's still hurt, man.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna play the rest of this year, I don't think.
So it's the Pels. Just, I guess, give our listeners.
I mean, it's a lot like the Saints.
Give us something to look forward to.
Yes,
brother.
if you can.
Obviously, it's next year.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna see where we're slotted at, because we're gonna definitely be in the lottery.
Right,
so we'll see where the balls drop, if you may. Let us know. Give us some kind of hope.
All right, I give you the sugar and then I give you the salt.
There we go.
All right. So the sugar, obviously, I think the best things about this team is that you start with Zion Williamson. He's not going to play 40 games this year. I was hoping that he would get to 40 because he's only had 2 seasons where he played at least 40 games in his career. Last year and his second year in the league when he made the All-Star team. But what you've seen out of Zion is first of all, he's maturing. And look, we have to be honest. Look, young men, young women all mature at different rates.
They do.
You can't just make somebody grow up.
Right.
I think that there were things that the Pelicans could have done, but that's the past. We've missed that. The past is over. We can only talk about the present. And Zion Williamson, when you see him now, he looks like a grown man. You know what I mean? Like, physically, he's there. Like, he is. I think the big worry was when we heard his hamstring, he was going to come back and be out of shape.
Right.
Because that's what happens with hamstring injuries.
Right.
You
can't run.
Yeah, so you tend to pack on the pounds because you're sitting around a lot more.
Right.
But he came back just as fit as he was when he left, if not more in shape. Certainly the Pelicans have managed his minutes, but I think that has nothing to do with his shape now. It's about, I'll call it a soft tank. The Pelicans are not doing the expert full-on tank like the Utah Jazz where you're going to sit everybody tonight. They've got to see what Zion can do. They need to know, can they build around him now?
Moving forward.
And I think he's shown, you can build around him. The offense with him on the court is elite. It is a top 5 offense in the NBA when he's on the court this season. When he's on the court, the defense is better for the first real time in his career. You see him engaged on the defensive end. I like to compare, people wanted to compare Zion to Charles Barkley and guys like that. I think the most apt comparison for Zion Williamson is Allen Iverson.
Wow.
Because when you think about Allen Iverson, undersized 2-guard, right?
Right.
Gave you about 10, 11 years of amazing basketball.
Right.
And then the physical part, he wasn't the quickness advantage wasn't the same. The elevation wasn't the same. The physical advantages weren't there. So, but you had a supernova of talent for 11 years with Allen Iverson, and you had to build very specifically
around him.
Right.
The team that he took to the finals, people say, well, none of those dudes are great players, but they were great fits for Allen Iverson.
Right.
Aaron McKee. That year was an all-defensive player.
Right.
Eric Snow, defensive player, steady offense, took care of the basketball. You had Dikembe Mutombo at the center position, Tyrone Hill. All those guys did the things that Allen could not or would not do.
Right.
That's the same when you look at Zion Williamson. You got to build this team around him. Before, the Pelicans' mistake, I believe, was building 2 teams, a BI team and a Zion team. They tried to hedge their bets. If one gets hurt, the other one's out. We got enough players to make this work. And it was fine, but it's never great because you kept ending up in the 8th spot, the 9th spot. You're a fringe qualifier. Well, now you can build around Zion. And you have a guy, the other part of this season, Trey Murphy, who Trey is, I don't know. Look, last night, that dunk.
That was crazy.
That may have been the greatest play I've ever seen for the Pelicans. Like, I've not seen a highlight. And we're talking about Chris Paul has been here with the Crescent City connection. We've had Anthony Davis. We've had Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody do what Trey did.
And that's the good thing. And me and CL talk about that a lot. And even when you and I were at we did our ESPN thing at Boomtown, we talked about how they drafted a young guy like Misi who looks like you said once he put some weight on and get used to the
weight.
game.
Yeah,
he definitely needs weight.
He needs Messi.
Whatever they was doing with Zion, they could do with him. At least for 2 or 3 months, we'll be good down here.
Get Yves Messi. Yeah. We need to get him uptown. Get him some real food.
That's what I'm saying.
That man look like whatever Zion used to eat.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
At least for 4 or 5 months, because he'll balloon too now. But I guess, do we have you talk about what Trey Murphy just did? Mm-hmm. Do we have enough young talent to build around where we could just do a little bit of free agency, draft smart, or it's like hit the red button? We need to figure out, build around Zion, let this guy go. Like, what direction?
The difficulty is you can't really hit the panic button.
Right.
Because you can't, like DeJounte Murray's out till January at the earliest of next year with that Achilles injury. Herb Jones, that's a rotator cuff. That's 4 to 6 months. Herb is not going to lift a single weight this offseason. He's not going to be able to shoot a jump shot all offseason. So those 2 guys right there who you're counting on, even if you wanted to move them, let's say you said, I want to move on and blow this thing up and go after somebody else. I can't move those guys unless I'm going to pay a heavy tax. You know what I mean? If I'm going to ask you to take on my injured guy, the other team's going to say, well, you got to give me something else. You got to give me more picks. You got to give me another player. Right. So you decimate your team. But I think the Pelicans, if you end up with a top 4 pick in this lottery, there are players who can really help you. If you get number 1, it's Cooper Flagg, obviously, who comes in and helps you from day one. You end up with a Dylan Harper, maybe, who at 6'6" could be your point guard of the future and come in and really impact you. There are big men. There are perimeter players who could help immediately in this draft. And I think also you're going to see more veterans this NBA offseason move than maybe ever before. Kevin Durant is going somewhere. You know what I mean? Devin Booker is going somewhere. James Harden could be going somewhere. Guys could be moving, all around this league. So I think that there will be opportunities to make this roster better. The problem, the big problem is, what is the overall direction of the franchise? And I think when you look at the Saints, when you hire Kellen Moore, the question is, are he and Mickey Loomis in it for the long haul? Right. Mickey Loomis already been here 2 decades for the Saints. For David Griffin, if he does get rid of Willie Green, and again, we're not going to say whether they should or they shouldn't. Today, I don't like speculating on people's jobs during the season. But if you do get rid of Willie Green, you're asking David Griffin to make essentially his 4th coaching hire.
See? Yeah.
And have you ever seen a GM get 4 coaching hires? So, I think that's – what is the long-term vision? But I think in the NBA more than any other league, your long-term is only 3 years. Right. So that's that. I think the Pelicans could get back to being better. They got to get better defensively. They're the worst defensive team in the league. That's where it starts.
And that's my question. We all know the talent that we have. We all see what Zion does. Zion averages 30 points in 30 minutes, 28 minutes.
Yeah.
36 crazy.
I'm very fluent with the Pelicans, but I concur to Grubbs because I see him when I walk in. we all know we even seen Murphy get better with his handles and everything. Grubb, tell us what really needs to change. Tell us what needs to change. We know the talent that we have. What needs to change for the Pelicans? And let it start with the
identity.
Right.
The identity, like the Houston game was the perfect encapsulation of everything that's wrong with the Pelicans. The Rockets are everything the Pelicans wanted to be when they got Zion Williamson. Remember, that was we were preaching. It was going to be a long, athletic team that got out and ran.
Right.
And then was a volume 3-point. I never thought the 43s a game number mattered. That didn't matter to me. It's about who's shooting them and are you shooting from the right spots. But the Rockets beat the Pelicans up. That looked like a big brother and a little brother in the backyard. You know what I mean?
What's the big man? What's the big man? It ran from me.
Sengun, Alperen Sengun.
Killed us.
Just destroyed. And he's dunking on
2 games in a row.
Got no lift, but he's dunking on dudes.
After seeing what he did in the first game, we still wasn't able to adjust.
No adjustment.
To stop him in the next game.
And they just beat, Dylan Brooks, 27 points. The Rockets averaged almost 130 points a game against the Pelicans this year.
Man, yeah.
130.
With the rodeo going on.
That's crazy.
With the rodeo going on. They dropping 130.
You've got to be, look, the NBA is getting bigger and stronger. You see teams getting taller. You know what I mean? Dallas loaded up on bigs before everybody got hurt.
Right.
Dallas was loading up on bigs. Denver getting bigger. Everybody's getting bigger. Minnesota's two bigs. Big. Everybody wants to be big. The Knicks problem, they looking for more bigs. The Celtics, bigs. You look at Cleveland right now, who's on a 15-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, big. You know what I'm saying? So you've got to be big, you got to be physical, and it looks like every night you can push the Pelicans all over the court. You can just push them all outside of Zion. I can push everybody around that
Nicest
court.
team in the NBA.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
We haven't hard fouled anybody all year.
And
we haven't got a
conservative ball. Yeah.
We haven't got ejected. I mean,
and what do you want? You want your team identity to match your city's identity, right? Right. What is
That's
New
true.
Orleans? New Orleans is a place where people respect the grind.
right,
Yeah.
You respect the grind.
right.
This team don't feel like grinders. You know what I mean? And that starts at the top and goes all the way down. And I think that you have to draft the players who emulate that process.
Correct.
I think DeJounte Murray is a grinder. He's got to get back to that form that he had when he was in San Antonio, that kind of confidence. But I think he's a grinder. Herb Jones is a grinder.
He is.
I think that, Jose Alvarado, certainly a grinder. But you need those guys up and down the roster. They got to fight every night.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest problem with the Pelicans. I think that's what fans don't like about the team. It's not because they're showing up. I don't think anybody wants to say that when criticize the fan base. I got a problem with that because those fans have shown up and they had no reason to show up. When the Pelicans have given them no reason, and all they ask for is your effort meets our effort.
Correct.
We show up, we care. We need you to care. And I think that's the biggest part for the Pelicans. Step one is finding guys who give a damn.
One thing based off of my observation, not having Herb hit them defensively. I mean, last year he got Mr. Defense in the NBA.
First team.
First team.
Defensive player of the year.
So that says a lot not having him. If y'all just tune in to Inside the Trenches, we here with my man Dave Grubb, man. Y'all make sure y'all holler at my boy. Hit him up, David Grubb on Facebook. Or you could go on, it's DM Grubb on Twitter. Follow him. And there is some good Pelicans news, right? I mean, it's not all good.
Yeah.
I think D Grubb got some good news for us. Pelican Daily just launched.
Okay.
YouTube, y'all make sure y'all please subscribe to Pelicans Daily on YouTube. The first show will air at 12:30. Well, it aired today. It's up. It's up. 12:30 today is up. Y'all could go right now. D Grubb, the bird writes, Hard in the Paint, Tulane. I mean, you are the ultimate journalist. It didn't surprise me at all that Algiers America wanted you to talk to us about Pelicans Daily.
Yeah, it's with the Fan Arch organization, so it's a daily program. So I'll be doing that every day. It's going to be about 20, 30 minutes. We're going to be doing giving you the news, but also my perspective on the Pelicans. The bird rights will be something that works with that, and the bird calls. The podcast that I do as well. I'm going to do that one as more of an interview one-on-one with the bird calls. But with the Pelicans Daily, it's going to be just that information that I get from, every game and keeping you up on this team. Because, look, today you have two things of big news with the Pelicans. Mo Bamba, who had been, a veteran in the NBA, had been with Birmingham. They called him up, and they gave him a 10-day contract to help with that front line. He's a guy who's averaged more than a block and a half a game in his career, shoots about 37% from three as a big man. But he needs they need another big in that rotation. And Kelly Olynyk is going to be rested tomorrow, so when they play the Clippers. So having Mo Bamba is certainly going to help them. And then Pelicans got announced they're going to be playing in Australia in the fall as part of this NBA series with the National Basketball League in Australia. They'll be the first NBA team to go over there and play against an Australian professional team. So expanding that brand as basketball becomes even more global, as we know it's probably, behind soccer, basketball is the next biggest global sport, but just continue to grow for that. So there's a lot going on with the Pels, and as we get closer to the draft, man, we're going to be doing that draft analysis and talking about those players that you need to be keeping an eye on, and whether the Pelicans get into that top 3, top 4, or whether they fall back, or maybe they trade back. You never know. They could trade back and try to get multiple picks in this draft like they did a few years ago when they traded back. They ended up with Jackson Hayes and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So, it don't always work when you trade back.
Gotta try.
But, hey,
Gotta try.
Two players might help more than one this year. So it's going to be an exciting the next 17, 18 games going to be more like training camp. But then you get into some real important stuff this offseason.
Well, congratulations, brother Grubbs. You are the foremost word on the Pelicans, and I co-sign you for sure,
Man,
brother. Congratulations.
Round of
brother.
applause on that, man. We're excited about that. Well, he's David Grubb. Y'all make sure y'all follow him and go right now. Go subscribe to Pelicans Daily. 12:30 Eastern Time every day, 11:30 Central. You're going to get your daily dose of the Pels. He got you covered like a blanket, baby. Hello, somebody. Hey, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, I think we got some ballers in the building. Got some ballers from Destrehan in the building. Going to talk a little bit of high school football. We're getting ready for spring ball and everything. Yes, indeed. And we rolling here. We want to thank our sponsors. Y'all are MVPs, too. I can't lie to y'all. Without y'all, the show's going to roll. Robert Wolf in Construction Real Estate. 143, that number is love, right? Lapelco Boulevard in Gretna. Call Robert Wolf today. They have specials on house elevations. If you stay down there by you, they need to get that house off the ground. Man, the weather get crazy down here, let's be honest. Hit them up, 504-393-2445. Let them know that Big Fave sent you. Might get you a special rate. It's Inside the Trenches. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be back, baby. Hello, somebody. Well, hello, somebody. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I got the coolest co-host in the world, baby, or at least in the city of New Orleans. My man, CL Nola. Be sure to follow him at CL_Nola, and you can follow me at BigFave504. And we keep the party going, baby. And if you got to keep the party going, but you ain't got no wheels, got to holler at Montero Motors. That's right, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard in Metairie, Louisiana. I know them taxes just hit. You feel me?
Like a dog.
You got a little rack, on your file. Go over there, Alberta, go get you straight, put you in a nice little note. Drive, it's used, but it's going to drive like it's new, baby. Speaking of Montero Motors, I have Braylon Montero in the building. Offensive lineman, defensive tackle for Destrehan. Y'all make sure y'all follow him at Braylon. You need to change it. Not at Spidey anymore. Huh? What's your Instagram, Twitter?
Braylon M_.
Well, I was close enough. There we go.
Okay.
Be sure to follow him. Listen, the highlights are off the chain. I've been training him since he was like a freshman in high school. Now he's about to enter into his senior year. Braylon Montero, man, welcome to Inside the Trenches, brother.
Welcome,
Yes,
brother.
Thank you.
Welcome.
See, we owe him an Inside the Trenches T-shirt. Like,
for sure.
remember he was our student of the week that time?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do we have one for his size, though, Phil?
That's the thing. He said that's fake
Two,
news.
Yeah.
That's fake news. I don't know if he in that 2. He looked like he in that 3. I was at that.
You're a humble young man, I see.
So let's start with telling the world about who you are. I mean, obviously you come from a good family and you love football. So tell them about what school is for you and just a little bit about your family.
Yes, sir. My name is Braylon Montero. I'm from Destrehan, class of 26. I play D-line and O-line. Some schools that I've been looking at are UCA, UL, Arkansas, Monticello.
It's a lot of schools I saw checking you out this weekend.
Yeah,
I know because he was balling this weekend. But right, like you said, you're at the point right now where you're starting to get heavily recruited here in the spring.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So I guess, when did you fall in love with football? Like, when did you know this was your deal?
I really fell in love with football when I was I started when I was 7, and then, like, as time went on, I started working out, and then I found that it was for me, like, after I started working out.
Mm-hmm.
So about when I was about 9, that's really when I fell in love with football. When I was about 8 or 9.
No doubt, brother, no doubt. Well, first of all, you seem to be a bigger size young man. Can you tell the people how tall you are and how heavy you are?
I'm about 6'1", 315.
So you're 315 pounds, and you go both ways for the Destrehan Wildcats.
Yes, sir.
Tell the people what it's like to go both ways.
Well, for one, you have to be in pretty good condition. You can't be sloppy playing both ways. You have to be uptight, and you have to know both sides of the You have to know both sides of your offense and defense, like all the plays on offense. You have to know all the plays on offense and all the calls on defense. So it also takes a lot of like mental capacity to like play both ways and a lot of mental toughness, not just physical.
Definitely. Man, y'all got physical this weekend. CL, this weekend we did host our first annual linemen's clinic for offensive linemen, defensive linemen. We did the ratings and rankings. This was Braylon's first time on the offensive line at a camp. What that was like for you?
It was different, but I definitely learned and experienced a lot from the camp, and I found out what I have to work on. I'm just keep getting better.
What's some of the things you got to work on?
I have to work on just staying under myself and keeping my feet chopping, and look at my target. And other than that, I'll be good.
I'm sure you want to go to college, brother. What is your ideal position at the next level in football?
Honestly, I like O-line. Like, this is my first year, but at heart, I love D-line, too, because I've been playing that my whole life. But, honestly, whatever college, like, puts me anywhere, I mean, I'll play it.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Sia, that's one thing about Braylon. He is a hard worker, but he's experienced on both sides. That's why he was able to transition over to the offensive line a little better, because he was just so, well groomed on defense. Braylon, before we let you go here, I guess give us some of your goals for this season. I mean, I know you want to get recruited highly, which that's happening now. You're starting to get recruited, and winning is important. What's an achievable goal for you this football season?
First goal is to win the state championship. That's definitely the first goal. and some personal goals for me, I definitely want to get all district on one side and possibly all district on both sides.
Okay.
On both sides of the ball.
Both
and
sides.
Then like maybe even an all-state recognition on one of the sides of the ball. You know, it's something like that.
I think that's an achievable goal for him.
Yeah, brother. With Coach Scott, I think.
Yes,
I think it's possible for you, brother. I really do.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he had a number of great things to say about you too, and about you being a two-way player. Well, he's Braylon Montero. Braylon, thank you so much for stopping by Concord Sports. Hey, look, this is how we doing it, y'all. We don't have one Destrehan baller, baby. Not even two. We got three. So Braylon was joining us first. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be joined by the Collins brothers. We'll have, I guess, we'll get Earl to come out. We'll get old Earl to come out here first. It's Inside the Trench. We're going to take a quick break live here on ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, YouTube. ESPN Baton Rouge, 100.4 FM, Baton Rouge Live. Hello, somebody. We back like we never left because we didn't, baby. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite. And we want to once again welcome our ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube crew. Shouts out to Matt. Shouts out to Paul O'Neill, everybody back there. And look, I got to give a big shout out to UP. We got Spin. We got our whole crew over here at Loyola. We're live here at the Loyola Recording Studios in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. And I told y'all one Monstar. Two Monstars. We got three, but I'm on the second one right now. Joining us right now is offensive lineman Earl Collins from Destrehan High School. Earl, welcome to Inside the Trenches.
Welcome, bro.
Y'all be sure to follow him at Earl Collins 74 on X. So we had ourselves a lineman clinic this weekend. You guys showed up walking in there looking like y'all was ready to take lunch. Luckily, we didn't have any food there. Yes, but how was the experience this weekend in Baton Rouge at Elite?
I think it was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I got to see what I need to work on and like what I'm good at, and like I think it's pretty good.
So, Mr. Collins, I hear that you're a right tackle.
Yes, sir.
For the Destrehan Wildcats.
Yes, sir.
What are your goals this year, and what do you envision for this year's team?
This year, I hope to like win a state championship, and like some personal goals I want is like all district and like maybe like all state, something like that.
Yeah, that seems to be the common theme, and I understand that. Like, these young men have really been putting in the work. I went on you guys' Twitter the other day, and I saw you, Braylon, Jordan. Looked like y'all had a couple of other of y'all teammates in there.
Yeah.
Every week y'all have been putting in extra work outside of practice, man. What's that been like?
I mean, you got to put in the work to get the results. So, I mean, it's just like I want, you know what I'm saying, I want to be one of the best, so I got to work hard, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Now, you look across the NFL right now. We were just talking NFL free agency a little earlier. When you start thinking about NFL tackles, who's somebody you mold your game behind?
I try to one of my favorite is like Trent Williams.
Sure.
Trent Williams and what's his name? He played for the Vikings.
Not
number 71, I forgot his name.
Not Livingstone. You got me on that. I know who you're talking about, though.
But I like his game too. And Penei Sewell. Yeah,
definitely.
Well, we all know that that the National Football League is a goal for all of us. You know, there's no doubt about that. But what colleges are you interested in? What colleges you think you might fit in, or what maybe culture you may be looking for college wise? What you looking for at college, bro?
Well, honestly, I'm just looking for a college that wants me, and I think, I'm just looking for a college that wants me, and somewhere like I can just develop and become a better player.
Nah, that's important. When you look across college football right now, so much has changed. You have NIL. You have guys going in the portal. If a coach looks at another player, I'm getting up out of here. I mean, the game has, and I'm over-exaggerating a lot of this, but you're a youngster coming up, and this is what you're going into. This was much different. I mean, I and UP was talking about me and UP was talking outside saying, man, these dudes bigger than us, and we'd have had this size, and we had to make ends meet the way we had to make it meet in college football. Yeah. How do you feel going into the possibility of being what I like to call an NIL baby? Or is that something that motivates you as well, or you just kind of like, man, however the chips fall?
I mean, it motivates me, of course, but like I feel like, you know what I'm saying, however it comes, it's going to come, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like you can make money on the next level too. So.
No doubt.
Yeah. Brother, you seem to have your head on your shoulders. You seem to know where you want to go at. Tell us this, because I don't think they get the scape of how big you are. Tell the people how tall and how heavy you are, brother.
I'm like 6'5" and a half, 335.
Real rap, no cat.
How old are you?
16.
Real news, no blues. Let me tell you, hey,
I can't make this
is Louisiana. I'm telling y'all, look, we in good hands.
What grade you?
Oh, I'm in 11th.
Straight up. Hey, his measurements are just like the measurements of the guys at the Combine NFL.
His measurements are just like the guys at the Pelicans game.
Yeah, that part
Come on,
too.
Man, 6'5".
And let me tell you something. I know you enjoy this.
16.
You probably walk places to get free food. I mean, I'm telling you, it can go either way with you. I know it does. But I want to ask you about this, right? It is a huge responsibility being a big fella, but are you a big fella that can move? You feel like you got some wiggle?
I think I can move pretty well for a big guy.
He was moving on that 40, bro. I think I clocked him at like a 1.7. Okay. I just wanted him to let the people know what it was like. That's not, the 40-yard, not really a big deal for
lineman is different.
Really the one, the guys up front. Well, Earl, we appreciate you for coming and sit down with us, brother. You got to come back again. I'm going to hear Coach Scott. Coach Scott, Come on, man. I need the whole team on down here. My man UP said we got a nice big studio we can fit y'all in.
Coach Marcus Scott.
That's right. Shouts out to him, man.
So, I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, Mr. Collins. Thank
Well, he's Earl Collins, and look, y'all don't go anywhere. We have another football player. It's actually his younger brother. It's crazy. It's Inside the Trenches, man. We're going to take us a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, you can move fast. He ain't waiting for
Hello, somebody. Yeah, it's time to move my body. Yeah, and you're going to be somebody. That is right. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite, right? And y'all see these beautiful lights behind me? And you know how all this is set up? Shouts out to my girl, Camille. She came through here and hooked it up. She's definitely handling all our stage lighting. Shouts out to her and my crew back there, Damon West. And, of course, you know UP is producing this thing. We got Spin. Spin had to be the electrician a little earlier, man. We had to do the hookup, so shouts out to DJ Spin. CL.
Come on.
We are joined by the number one offensive lineman in the class of 2028.
Wow.
None other than my main man right here, Jordan Collins. Jordan, man, welcome to Inside the Trenches.
You doing?
Welcome, brother.
I'm glad to be here.
Freshman at Destrehan. Yeah, just turned 15, am I saying
Yes,
that?
sir.
Look
Just
30
turned.
to me.
Yeah. Yeah. If it wasn't for the no facial hair, it would be like, man, who's this grown man up in here? Right?
we could start it off now. Tell the people well, we know that you're a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people how tall and how heavy you are.
Well, I'm 6'4", and I'm about 310.
About.
About.
Keyword about 310.
That's a New Orleans word.
So, I mean, middle school ball had to been fun, man. What the transition was like to high school for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you learn a lot when you get into the other stages, and you know, middle school was pretty easy because they didn't really have nobody else as my size. So when I got to high school, it was a big change because it had people that was the same size as me. I started to learn a lot from the older people, and a better experience.
Yeah, he basically said the 13 and 12-year-olds, he was like a foot shorter. Some cases even different.
Well, at your size and obviously your mental capacity to take it to the next level, what's your goals for this year on the Destrehan team? And if I'm not mistaken, you're the left tackle.
Yes, sir.
What's your goals this year, brother?
Really to be the best I can be. Always learning new things. Be my best. That's all I can say.
I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Teach them well and let them lead the way. That's it. Big boy.
About 310 as a freshman.
Now check this out. He was at the lineman clinic this weekend. Shouts out to Elite Training Academy in Baton Rouge, baby. That's where you can find me sometime, or you can find me over here by Bodies by Phil doing the D-line and O-line training. Or you can catch me in the Montero's backyard. That too, you know what I'm saying? That's why I train these dudes there sometimes. But you had an opportunity to go against guys in the region. We had about 20-some-odd players there. What was it like doing the one-on-ones this weekend at the clinic?
Learned a lot. You know, can't always go somewhere and expect to be great. You always gonna fail. Learned a lot. Learned some new things I need to work on. Feet work, one of them. How to stay balanced. Really perform my craft.
And see, here's the interesting thing about that. I know you got a question for him. To understand that at the age of 15, that's big. Like, hey, I'm working on this technique now. Because we see the size. Like, that tells you once the technique gets there. We say this a lot with our Saints players when Penning first got here. We're like, man, he wants to maul the guys all the time. But when you get a young man who literally just turned 15, I saw a little water dripping from behind his ears. He's still wet behind the ears. That got to be impressive, huh, bro?
Well, it's quite amazing, brother. Quite amazing. Tell us this. You're a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
You're on Destrehan's football team. You're a part of a great offensive lineman. We've interviewed your brothers. They have goals and aspirations. Do you feel any pressure being a freshman and if I'm not mistaken, probably the second best, most important position in football at the left tackle?
Ain't no doubt.
Do you feel any pressure being a freshman and having that responsibility of getting the quarterbacks back?
Yes, I do, but you know, can't show it. Just gotta go and do it. Can't think about it. Just gotta do it. And once you really take that out your mind, you can really do anything.
All right. I want to go a little away from football for a second. Because this is a big dude, and he really is 15, so we got to figure out how this goes. All right, so we're going to do, is it this or that, right? So chicken or steak?
I like my chicken, but
okay, it's a teriyaki steak, and the chicken is marinated in I don't know, barbecue.
I have to do barbecue.
Okay, barbecue chicken. Okay, all right.
Jambalaya or boudin?
Why you doing that to me?
Pork.com, log in.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, bro.
He's stuck. He's still, like, we got 3 minutes left in the segment. He's really trying to think about it. Jambalaya boudin, boy, that boy country for real.
Country beef.
Boy, what? He's still thinking.
Boudin.
Oh, all right. Watch this one. Bluebell ice cream or frozen yogurt?
See?
I never had frozen yogurt. Oh, man.
Okay.
You got to pass? You said you going to pass?
I'm passing that.
He going to pass on that one. Smart. Coach, you saw me. He passed on to Derek, Coach. All right. A kale salad or a Greek salad? He's confused.
Have you ever seen a buffet that you didn't like?
A buffet I didn't like.
Yeah.
I tried salads, but I never really had a Greek or a kale. I'm going to say Greek because Greek sound a little bit better than kale because kale sound.
I don't think he eats much
Yeah,
kale.
he said he had to think about
Chicken salad.
Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
You do like the regular house salad, put your little grilled chicken
I
on
get a little salads now and then. You know,
What's an ideal meal for you before the game?
for the game.
The day of game? Y'all don't understand how big these boys are. Clearly, they're eating something. We need to find out.
We're going
what
to take
they
a picture
eat.
standing next to them after this
Right,
segment, and we're going to
exactly.
drop it on the ESPN Baton Rouge.
We usually have a variety of different things, but not all at the same time. But they got a variety of different things that I would like to eat before a game. But one time we had chicken tenders with mashed potatoes. But like an ideal meal, it's hard.
Did you hook it up, huh? I'm telling you, bro, after the workout, he took like 3 pork chops, and like 3 minutes, they were gone. Okay, I'm over-exaggerating 10.
Well, you know, like you said, growing boy, 15 years old, 6'4", about 310. Clearly, they're eating something. Brother, tell us. Please tell us. And we know the pressure is on you. We realize you are a freshman. But do you have aspirations to take it to the next level? And if so, what college would you like to experience?
Really, I would take it to the next level, but I'm using that. But I won't say I'm thinking about it now. I should be always thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I'm probably, but about next year, I might start thinking about colleges. Because right now, at this predicament, I won't say I don't need to be worrying about colleges, but
You focus at the task.
Yeah.
at hand.
Yeah, in other words, he's saying he got a long way to go. Well, he's Jordan Collins, and hey, I told you I was going to get the Destrehan ballers to come through here.
Right, quick.
Jordan, thank you for coming through, man.
nice to have it.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Yes, indeed. We got the football team rolling over here, baby. It's Inside the Trenches. We also want to take this time once again, to thank our sponsors, Elliott Security, 2304 Manhattan Boulevard in Harvey, Louisiana. You can call them at 504-392-4424. They're hiring unarmed and armed guards all the time. Let them know that Big Fave sent you over there. And if you're an electrician like my man Spin, or you have a construction company and you're looking for a top-notch utility vehicle, hit my folks up at Lamarck 4 Crescent City. Hit fleet manager of Sheldon Jordan at 504-734-3579. Let them know that you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches. Y'all don't go nowhere. We got about 10 more minutes with y'all. We got to talk a little LSU, baby. It's Inside the Trenches, live here at the Loyola Studios. And guess what, baby? We're here, loving it on ESPN Baton Rouge, YouTube Live. We'll be back. Well, time fly clips its wings, baby, because it's almost over. The show, it's just like that when you're having a good time. I want to give a big shout out to Camille, to Damon, to UP, to West, to Spin, everybody who's responsible for putting this set together. My co-host CL, definitely big shout outs to our guests. We had Braylon, Montero, Destrehan offensive line, and the brothers, Earl and Jordan Collins, left and right tackle. We don't get no better than that. So big ups to them. And again, all of our sponsors. The show don't go without you. Small Sliders Marrero, Piccolo and Ramos Realty, Montero Motors, Robert Wolf Construction, LA Security, and Lamarck Ford. Thank y'all, Crescent City. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do for the show. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about LSU's most recent hire.
Come on.
Now, last week we were forced to talk about Coach Bo Davis going to the Saints.
Right.
I was ecstatic about it. First thing I did, we trained Isaiah Foskey. I hit Isaiah up. Man, you're getting a treat with him. Cam Jordan hit me up about him. And then they signed Davon Godchaux from out of the Patriots to New Orleans. Good New Orleans news.
Great news.
But now, Kyle Williams, my old teammate, All-American defensive tackle, gets hired by LSU. Right. Coach Brian Kelly was like, we lost Bo to the Saints. I got to go ahead and get my guy. Kyle Williams, I heard he's doing his thing out there at Ruston, so I'm going to sign him. And it did. So he is now the Stafford defensive line coach. CL, I mean, I probably should leave my spiel for the last 2 minutes about Kyle because I personally know him. But when you first heard of LSU bringing in Kyle Williams, former All-American, as a defensive line coach, what's your initial thoughts were?
Well, we'll give you those last 2 minutes, and we'll keep it short. Isn't that the same situation we've been referring to, keeping home? We have another homeboy coming back into the fold of the great state of Louisiana, and I'm sure everybody was a little down when Coach Bo was elevated to the New Orleans Saints. But what better option could you have with a former Pro Bowl defensive tackle for the Buffalo Bills to come back to his roots to teach the young defensive linemen? And I believe they're all excited like we are excited, and that's just a great look. Shots out. I don't know about the impression, but shots out to Coach Kelly for doing what we love to see happen, not only inside the trenches but in Louisiana, keeping home.
Well, and I couldn't agree with you more, CL. You made a very compelling point. But it was also keeping the D-line consistent in the route it was going.
Right.
And to make an outside hire, you had to bring in somebody that first and foremost, like the back of his hand, understand and knows the Bo Davis system.
Yeah.
With the way that Coach Davis had improved that defensive line, or as my brother CL always say, fortified that defensive line in terms of getting the right guys and getting the young guys. They was forced to get guys like Dominique McKinley prepared to play in a college game. That says a lot about him and Coach Peoples. We saw Savion Jones' stock shoot up.
Right.
So that says a lot. But, just give y'all a quick story on Kyle. When I first and foremost, it starts back at Archbishop Shaw. My sophomore year, we beat Ruston. Yeah, Kyle, we beat y'all. Y'all came to West Jeff, and we had to show you what it was. Kyle was actually on the wedge team, too. He played on special teams. This was his, I want to say, senior year at Ruston. And he signed with LSU, and they won the national championship in 2003. Kyle started on that team.
He did.
He was a starter on that team alongside guys like Marcus Spears. And one thing I could say when we first got Glenn, Tyson, myself, Tremaine, Charles, when we first got to LSU, Kyle and Melvin Oliver and all these guys, Big Spears, they were very instrumental at making sure that our technique was on point. It was almost like a player coach.
Right.
So I really appreciated Kyle and all those guys. They didn't really leave us hanging as youngsters.
Right.
Usually you'll get some youngsters that come in as All-Americans like me and Glenn did, and it's like whatever. But they took the time to teach us and get us better, and I thought that was impressive. And lastly here, CL, I was a journeyman in the NFL, as you know, so it gets real, right? It gets trying at times. So I got released from New Orleans, And after, yeah, it wasn't the funnest time. And I ended up getting released, and I got picked up by Buffalo off the waivers. Yeah. And when I first got there, I mean, them hotel fees was getting me. I mean, I might have ran through a couple bands, just New York taxes, gas, and all of that stuff. Well, for about a week and a half until, shouts out to Coach John Gamble, he was able to get me a townhouse to stay in, while I try to make the team. Man, Kyle went back to Baton Rouge for the week. He was like, "Faye, man, you could just use my house." He gave me the keys to his house. So that talks about the brotherhood of LSU. So I took Kyle up on that for about 3 years. I mean, 3 days, not 3 years. Lord knows, I got cut after about a month, but for about 3 days, and then of course I got situated. So congratulations to Kyle Williams, the newest LSU line coach. Well, that does it for us here. Shouts out to our whole crew over here at Loyola, from UP to Spin. Camille, shouts out to her for getting this light on nice. I like the way that light looks across y'all's faces. Damon and Wes over in the studio getting everything rolling. My co-host CL, stay fresh all the time, man, and we keeping this thing rolling. And listen, if y'all want to subscribe to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on my YouTube, we'll have these shorts up to check out. Continue to comment and join us every week on the Baton Rouge's 104.5 ESPN Live YouTube. For once again, our sponsors, for Small Sliders, for Montero Motors, for Piccolo and Ramos, LA Security, Robert Wolf, and Lamar Crescent Ford. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do for the show. We'll be back next Monday, baby. Same time, same place. It's Inside the Trenches. Hello, somebody.